Hey guys, what's going on? Um, we're gonna go over 3 ways to make money with merch. I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is Steven. I'm here with my brother Nathaniel.
Hey guys.
If you want to just explain who you are and what your background is.
Yeah, my name is Nathaniel Hibbert. I go by Nate most of the time. I'm a graphic designer professionally for the last 5 years. I was working in a traditional t-shirt company, which is like a screen printer here locally in Florida. We got introduced to merch early 2017, and I really took a grasp on it. I saw it as a huge opportunity since it matched my skill set of being able to design t-shirts so well. And really went all in on that a few months after getting some of the royalty checks. And after Steven saw the success I was having, he decided to help me because his skill set of working on Amazon is so data focused, which you can talk about in a second. But since then, we've created this company, WingMan Merch, because while we enjoy doing merch for ourselves, really our passion is just to help other people.
Yeah, like Nathaniel said, I've been selling online for about 10 years now. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, SEO, SEO." I don't really like that term. I mostly do data mining. I'm mostly trying to find out as much data as I can and then try to break it down to see how I can use it to best benefit me. So, like Nathaniel said, he was doing merch. He was having some success with it, and I found it very interesting to see like why one shirt was selling over another. And he was going more about, oh, it's the art and this and that. And I was like, I don't think that's really the case. So I actually was breaking down the shirts, like pulling as much data as I could of shirts that were selling, pulling as much data as shirts that weren't selling, and then I was starting to see patterns in why shirts were selling versus why shirts weren't selling. I do want to touch on this picture. This is a picture of me and my brother in Jamaica, Tasties, which is probably my favorite patty place. We were there for a missions trip, just because we do truly love to go and help people. It's not just with selling online; it's just in any form. If there's a lady buying a bike for her kids for Christmas and I see her struggling to put it back in the car, I'm gonna go help that lady just because I do truly enjoy helping people, just period.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into this. 3 strategies for making money with merch. You got partnering, riding trends, and organic traffic. Strategy number 1, partnering. I'll let you handle this since this is probably your favorite.
Yeah, definitely my favorite part of merch is the partnerships that you can make. So as we jump into this, there's 2 big schools of thought for partnering. There's licensing and selling local. Underneath licensing, there's art that you can license and a brand that you can license. And then selling locally, it's schools and restaurants are the 2 biggest places that I've been able to sell locally. So I'm going to dig into each one of these and show some examples and some advantages and just talk about each one of them. So an advantage of selling or of licensing art, there's no upfront cost. There's high quality art and the marketing that goes behind it. So I'll talk about an example that kind of wraps all that up, which is this Santa shirt. I found this artist who made this through Instagram, which I've had some success doing, just explaining to him the opportunity that I can provide of selling t-shirts on Amazon with his art on it. So the way that I've been able to structure the deal, I don't pay him anything up front for that art, but it is very high quality art because that's just what he enjoys doing. He'd be doing it whether he was making sales or not, which is kind of the exact person that I wanted to work with, because you can tell just from the art that it's not rushed, it's not like forced in any way. It's just something he enjoyed drawing. And the marketing that goes behind that, now he's able to share these shirts with his following on Instagram. So he's saying, hey, if you guys like the art that I'm doing, you can support me by buying these shirts through Amazon, get them prime shipping, all that wonderful stuff that comes with merch. So that's been a great partnership to have. The next one is advantage of licensing a brand, the brand trust that goes along with that, high quality art once again, and the marketing once again. So an example of that is Amazon plus Marvel making these sweet, what is Black Panther? Black Panther superhero shirts on merch. Obviously, the brand trust for both Amazon and Marvel. If you buy from them, you kind of know what you're getting. the high quality art. Marvel's got millions of dollars into their art department, so they can come up with some really sweet art. And the marketing, both Amazon and Marvel have, again, millions of dollars into their marketing strategies. So
No shortage of marketing dollars.
yeah, so they're definitely finding success with partnering together and marketing these things together as well. So the next thing that we're going to jump into is selling local. This first example is going to be schools. So you can sell to bands of the schools or sports teams and any after-school club, really. This example is a friend of mine. He is a coach for a bass fishing team, which I didn't even know was a thing. But this is up in Michigan. I saw them starting to post a few pictures on Facebook and just reached out and said, hey, if I do some art for you guys and get you some shirts, would you be interested in doing a partnership where we can help each other out? He said yes. So I created this design for them, and you can see one of the kids wearing a shirt. But really the coolest thing that has come from this partnership is if you look at that banner at the bottom right, you can see the WingMan merch or the WingMan Media logo, which is my company. And through that, other teams have seen my logo and kind of asked, what is this random graphics company that's sponsoring you guys? And so they've been able to talk about, what I provided them with merch as well. So that's opened up a few more doors for me to work for a few more teams as well. So just, again, another great partnership that's going to lead to even more business for me now, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so the partnerships that we like the most are partnerships that are not only just the one-on-one with both of us getting money from the shirts, but also that will lead into other potential partnerships. So this is a perfect example of that. We are doing business with this bass team, and because we've been able to provide such a great service for them, they've actually put our name out there so that we can work with other bass fishing teams.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been fantastic. So the next selling local example is restaurants. With restaurants, they can actually make money on the shirts. It brings traffic into the physical building, and they can build their social media platforms with selling shirts. So this example, Taco Tuesday, I'm sure there's a taco place near you that does Taco Tuesday. It's a very popular thing. So to talk about the 3 bullet points, making money on the shirts, usually when these companies are running ads, whether it's in newspaper or Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, any marketing.
Yeah,
they're pretty much seeing is a one-way street out.
Exactly. They're usually losing money on those ads. I mean, they might be converting in the end, but the actual ad itself, they're not making any money on. So if you, again, structure the deal properly or the way that you want to structure it, you can have it so that people are seeing these ads, they're buying these shirts, and say they get a discount if they come in wearing the shirt, then the shirt itself is actually making that company money because of the royalties that they'll be getting when they sell the shirt. And again, it's going to bring in traffic because if you spend money on a shirt that you see online and it says you get a taco for free, you're very likely to go in and get that one taco because you've already spent the money. And, having that shirt is just going to be a constant reminder, like, oh, it's Taco Tuesday. Let me wear this in and get 50% off or whatever the deal is that you have going with that. And then to build their social medias, it's a great thing for these companies to have, just to talk about, hey, it's Taco Tuesday. Have you heard about, our shirt deal? Or, hey, we're doing a giveaway, so next Taco Tuesday you can come in and get 50% off, or again, whatever that deal may be. But that's just a great partnership. It's kind of a win-win on both sides. You're going to be selling shirts, and they're going to be getting customers in the door. So
yeah, and you can build a whole marketing strategy around this and go into local restaurants and then kind of break down every step and the benefits of.
Yeah, so I guess I should talk about that a little bit too. Like the reason that partnering with merch is so fantastic is just because there's so much creativity you can have as far as how you're structuring the deals, how those companies are using the shirts, whether they're just for, even just having them for the employees is a kind of a hassle that they don't have to worry about. Like, oh, instead of we got to order 20 shirts and we only need 2 of them, they can just go on Amazon and order.
Yeah, there's no minimums. Shirts. That's another thing we should have touched about on the schools too. Schools don't really like doing a lot of shirts for smaller clubs because of the minimums. Like if there's only 7 to 15 students in that club, they don't want to have to buy 30, 40, 50 shirts just to get them printed. And the cost of smaller batches costs way too much for them to even consider shirts. So this has opened up the door for a lot of people with smaller clubs and groups because there is no minimums. They just buy the shirts as they want them.
Yeah, exactly. So merch is just a great platform to make a lot of cool partnerships with. So we'll jump into strategy number 2, which is writing trends. So some benefits of writing trends is the traffic that it can bring, the quick sales, and of course getting out of low tiers. This is a great strategy for that. So some examples of trends is holidays, events, and viral content, which again, I'm going to break these 3 down and give examples of each. So as we jump into this first one, which is holidays, 4th of July, it's a great holiday, Earth Day, another great holiday, and Christmas. I'll let you talk about the holidays a little bit because you've done some digging on those.
Yeah, mostly the data coming back from this is a spike, almost like that first graph was showing. You're not really selling Christmas shirts in the middle of the year. You're selling most of your Christmas shirts during Christmas time. Those fads come and go very quickly. But instead of just the big holidays, like Nathaniel was saying, 4th of July, Earth Day, Christmas, there are a ton of small holidays throughout the year that really nobody is jumping on. The Give Your Boss a High Five Day, like Nathaniel was saying, Taco Tuesday, but there's a National Taco Day. Small holidays like that, you'll be even surprised of how much t-shirts and stuff are bought around small holidays like that.
Exactly. So holidays are a great trend to jump on. The next trend that we're going to talk about is events. These are events such as the Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather fight that happened this year, political debate that happened, and the solar eclipse was one of the biggest events. Again, I'll let Stephen talk about these a little bit.
Yeah, this one was a little harder to see coming. I mean, it did seem like it was spiking up, but I don't know anything about solar eclipse until I started doing a lot of research and realized that, they do come every few years. And then I was able to go back on Google Trends and kind of see, they did spike up a little bit. I don't think anybody saw the amount of shirts that would be on merch around this trend. As far as I know, this is probably the biggest bump in merch t-shirts being made around one trend. When something is this big, there are a lot of people doing it, but there's still a lot of places where people are not putting shirts. So what we were finding success is not only just making Total Eclipse shirts, but making Total Eclipse shirts for specific areas along the track of the blackout. So that leads to digging down deeper into those trends. So if you see a trend is coming, try to start distancing yourself from the masses. Or, like the political debate, people were doing some of those sayings at the I was going to say contestants. Some of the people running for presidency were saying, like Donald Trump's
Hillary.
Hillary. What did she say exactly? Basket of deplorables?
Yeah, exactly.
That was actually the #1 shirt selling period, and it was a merch shirt. That's where I kind of saw, this thing can really go huge. And then smaller events like the Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, that's more of I would say a niche. People that like fighting or boxing or MMA would be into that. So it's not a huge trend that everybody is going to jump on, but there is still plenty of money to be made on events like that. And when you see stuff bleeding over, when you see like the weatherman talking about something that's coming up, those are good indicators to start digging down and looking to see if that's a trend worth jumping on or not.
Getting ideas from the weatherman.
I know. Well, the weatherman was saying something about it being a sunny day, but it's going to be all dark for Conor McGregor. I was like, whoa, okay. That's the first time I've seen a weatherman go hard like that.
All right, as we jump into the next trend, viral content. Memes are great things to make shirts around. YouTube videos, you can take topics from those, and even Facebook posts that are blowing up. So I'll actually talk about this example. This was a shirt that I made for a mutual friend of mine. She runs this page called On My Kid's Plate. And I saw the video very early on when it was only about 2 million views. I kind of thought it was going to be done then. But I reached out to this lady and said, hey, would you be interested in partnering? I can use merch to our advantage, and just kind of did a quick 5-10 minute conversation on what merch was and how everything was going to work. She agreed, so I made this shirt, and as you can see in this first red box at the top, she actually linked it directly on this video. And if you want to see the numbers, the next red box down, it shows 26 million views. So after the initial 2 million, where I thought it was going to kind of die down, it actually went even crazier.
Yeah.
Some news channels even started talking about it, and a lot of bloggers and things like that. It was just a funny little original video that she came up with, and had our shirt tagged to it. And you can see at the very bottom, it got a ton of likes and shares and stuff. So there was a lot of traffic being driven to this original post. And with our shirt linked directly on it, there was a lot of sales made from this idea. And it really, again, to talk about the partnerships, it really just inspired both of us. Like, hey, this was a great opportunity for both of us. We didn't have to put in a ton of work on either side. I mean, she had to make the video and I had to make the shirt, but that's not a ton of work for this thing to go crazy. So a lot of cool talks have come out of just this one Facebook post that we did a couple months ago. So we'll move on to strategy number 3, organic traffic. I'm going to hand this over to Steven because this is his favorite.
Yeah, by far. Strategy number 3 is organic traffic. Amazon is the #1 place to shop online. Someone on the internet said that. That's what my brother said, so we added it to the slide. The best way to get found through organic traffic is keywords, which is essentially data mining. So normally what we do, or I should say what I do, is start with a target. You want to set something and keep it simple. So how we do this is set a number of results to look for. So 5,000 we found, 5,000 or less seems to be good places to put shirts. So if you look at that first picture, it says black shirt. This has 17 million results. I wouldn't try to promote and sell a black shirt because there's way too much competition. But if you look under that, that one only has less than 1,000. So this is a place that I would put a shirt without even thinking twice, because there's a lot less competition and there's more chances of me going to the top if I structure my title properly and use good keywords to make a good listing. So after we find the results that we're looking for, I look at the top 10 shirts on that page, and then 8 out of the top 10 I want to see have BSRs. I'm not too concerned right now what they are, but I just want to see that 8 of the top 10 have BSR. That means that those shirts are selling. And then 2 out of the top 10 I want to make sure are under 1 million. BSRs, unlike, or I should say bestseller ranks for merch, are much different than anything else. They're most like books, being that 2 million is about 2 sales per month and 100,000 is about 1 a day. We're just trying to see if the shirts are selling. We know that we're not going to sell 100 of these shirts in a day if it's evergreen stuff that we're going after. So we're just trying to see where can we put a shirt that we should be able to get a few sales a month on these shirts. Right. Here's the power of targeting. So Chihuahua Mom's shirt is the keywords that we typed in. The results that come back are 1,400. And then, as you can see, the one that's circled, they targeted this keyword exactly. So Chihuahua Mom's shirts is his title. He's ranked #1. And then if you see, it says rank not found. This one has not sold, so there is no BSR. But if you look to the right, those 2 other shirts have sold. And this shirt is still outranking those 2 shirts. If you want to touch on maybe why the shirt is not selling.
I mean, it's hard to tell exactly, but because I'm the art side of this, we always kind of giggle at this example. The #1 shirt in this area is just some very rough drawn art. It just looks like it was sketched out and then tried to put on a merch shirt.
It looked like someone's uncle with a bow tie.
Yeah, it's very confusing as to what they're going for. There's no words to go along with it. So we don't think it would ever sell.
That's Uncle Chihuahua right there.
But the fact that it's ranked #1 is like very surprising. And it's just because of exactly what Steven was talking about, the power of targeting.
Yeah. that's what I stumbled across as I was looking at Nathaniel's shirts of why they were selling and why they weren't selling. Some of the keywords that he was putting in, he was actually ranking on page one of some very traffic heavy keywords, which I found very bizarre, but it was because he was actually targeting those keywords much better than anybody else.
It was more dumb luck at that point.
Yeah.
I was more focused on the art and didn't really understand keywords. So when Steven started digging, he was like, hey, you did this exactly how you're supposed to. I was like, well, I was just typing in words.
Because the assumption would be that women's cute pink Chihuahua mom shirt would be a better title, but keeping it simple and targeting what you want up front is by far the best. Like women's is a good keyword to go after, but because everybody's selling shirts and you're either selling it to a man or a woman, there's a ton of people putting woman as their keyword. So that keyword is just flooded. You don't necessarily want to go after that keyword. And as you can see in that example, they're right. They actually use women's and then woman. So you're doubling down on a keyword that's already flooded. So if you want to go to the next slide.
Yep.
All right, research. It's not very difficult. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. And then we're going to go into a little over the shoulder, and then I can explain to you exactly what all this means as you can see it happen right before your own eyes. So what you want to do is pick a niche, pick a keyword, pick a color, pick a number, pick just essentially anything, add shirt to the back of it, and then put that into the Amazon search bar. You go to the next slide, I think, and then into the live. And then find your target. And in this case, we're looking for anything under 5,000.
So I'll just bring over Amazon page. I'm sure.
And if you want to do the keyword, and then I can just dictate to you. Let's start with cat. Since most people we help always want to do cat shirts or pizza shirts or taco shirts, let's start with cat and just see what comes up.
So type in cat, put shirt at the end, hit enter.
And as you can see, the amount of results is almost 60,000. So this is way too many results to compete for us. So now what I do is, because I'm very keyword focused, I normally look at the page and then kind of see what keywords I could possibly use. So burrito right there is number one. If we type in burrito shirt and see what we come up with. So as you can see already, we found a very low competition listing. It's not listing. Page. Landing zone. And then from this point, I would mostly just compile all this information and kind of hand it off to my brother because he looks at this page completely different than me. So the next step from here is to run Jungle Scout to see if these shirts are actually selling.
It's going to load up just a second.
And as you can see, these are the top 10 listings just displayed in a way that it makes it easier to read. So all of those top 10 shirts have sold, and there's only one over 2 million. Normally we're looking for at least one or two under a million, but this is even better. So I would say almost all of these shirts are selling, and they're using that word burrito in the listing. So I don't know if you want to take a second and just...
Yeah, I can quickly talk about the way that I'm seeing this page. Again, me and Steven, I think we're able to work together so well because our brains work in very different ways. I'm very art focused and he's very data focused. So I would get a listing like this from him. He said, hey, this burrito word checks out. And then I start going through here and look for ways to get inspiration from these designs. They all kind of point to the same thing of this cat in a burrito, hence the name burrito. But just looking at kind of which art I can take inspiration from. My design background is very like simple and clean and bold designs. So these ones with actual pictures on here don't look the best to me, even though people might be liking them the best. But just knowing my design style, I would go after something more like this and just try to make the design a little bit clearer, since that is a little weird up front. But the schools of thought on art are all over the place, and it's basically this whole course on its own. So that's kind of what I'm just looking for, though. Really, the big thing is I want to make sure it looks good in these thumbnails. When you're scrolling through these pages, I want something that you're going to be able to easily see and identify what it is. So that's what I'm going after with my design style, but I'll kind of leave it at that.
If you scroll back down, I saw the next shirt I want to go after. Did you see that cat riding a piece of pizza in the wave? Go down a little bit.
Where is it?
I got to get that. If you scroll up a little bit, we can go actually to the next one. Because the keyword right here, taco cat, this is another one that would stand out to me. And I would actually try to search taco cat.
So we can scroll up and try that. Taco cat shirt.
Oh, one more thing I want to go over before we go any deeper into this. In where it says the category, where it says all departments, all of my searches I want to be doing in all departments. Some people go, oh, you only really want to look in where merch falls, which is in the novelty. I don't remember exactly what category that is.
It's changed a few times.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what department that is anymore.
Normally, merch shirts all fall in the same category. I don't want to be looking only at merch shirts. I want to see what that landing zone looks like as a whole, not just who's putting merch shirts there and what other merch competition. I want to be competing on that page, not only with merch competition, but anybody, and feel like I can compete. Because if you find a merch shirt where there's only 10 other merch shirts, but yet there's 1,000 other people trying to sell that shirt, and each one of those are a merch listing and a regular Amazon listing is two completely different things. It's very hard to compete with a regular listing if they're optimizing it properly and you're optimizing your merch shirt. So if you have 1,000 other people doing better listings than you, it's going to be very difficult to rank on that page. But this Pareto, I would say it's pretty easy to get ranked up in the top because nobody is truly targeting just Pareto cat shirt.
Yeah, that, and also for the art, I use the same school of thought. I don't just look at other merch shirts when I'm looking for inspiration of art, because we're not just competing with only merch competition. We're competing with everybody on this landing zone.
The cat riding pizza in a wave.
Right. So just to look at the merch shirts and say, oh, I'm competing with these guys, it's an unrealistic view of that. And it's what Steven's saying for the data, and it's still true for
the art
side of it. So that's just something that we've found to be true for ourselves and what we suggest. But we can jump into this next one, which is the Taco Cat shirt. Do you want to talk about autofills at all?
Yes. Normally, Amazon is a good indicator if people are actually going and typing in that keyword phrase. So as you can see, Nathaniel's typed in taco cat, SHI, and Amazon is telling you that other people are typing this in and they're trying to complete what you're typing in. So this is another good indicator to see if people are actually going to this page to show that there's traffic. Now, there aren't a lot of good merch tools, but compiling information is kind of what I'm doing to find out if there is actually traffic coming to this landing zone.
Yeah. So we can talk, oops, sorry about that.
So again, under 5,000, and then I would run Jungle Scout just to make sure that these shirts are selling. So you get Amazon indicating that other people are typing this keyword in. You get the results to show how many other competitors you have to compete against. And then through Jungle Scout or Scope or DS Quick View, you're seeing if those shirts are actually selling. So again, 10 out of the 10 are selling. I don't think there's any over 1 million. So again, this is definitely a place that I would try and test and put a shirt. Do you want to quickly go through more searches, or do you want to talk more about the art?
The art is still kind of the same. My designs would look more like this, very easy to read, easy to identify what the art element is. So yeah, I don't want to touch, I don't think there's too much more that I can say in a short amount of time.
Without going too deep. All right, well, let's go find two more, and then we'll keep on going.
You want to use this landing zone or come up with something?
Sure, scroll down and let's see what we come up with here.
Gato? Sure.
Mr. Roboto? You gonna spell this properly? I'm gonna make it look bad. Oh! Saved by the Toolbar.
So as you're saying, it auto-completed this already after AVOG and used T-shirt. So we'll hit enter on that.
And again, perfect, because Amazon's suggesting it. There's less than 100 results. That's very good for us. And then the only other thing to do is to run Jungle Scout to see if they're actually selling.
Right. After this loads, there's number 10.
So again, 9 out of the 10 are selling. There's one over 2 million, but really it's not a concern of ours because we're trying to look for at least 1 or 2 under 1 million. So again, this is a perfect place to test a shirt. We can scroll down this and see what else comes up.
So you can be looking at all these designs for inspiration. Because, all of them are kind of the same thing, but just done in different ways. Even the text, some stick out more than others. As we scroll down looking for other keywords that might be here, this one looks like it's all...
All right, no problem. Let's get out of cat because
sure.
It looks like we're targeting cats very heavily.
What other ideas you got?
Let's go with, what is an avocado? A fruit? It's making us look bad now.
Vegetable? I don't know. Let's say fruit shirt. Autofills. We'll click on that. This one's...
Yes, the results are over 100,000. This is not a place that I would want to just target and put a fruit shirt. I would try to be looking to niche down to find out what type of fruit shirt I should be going after. And again, I'm always looking for keywords. So I'm always trying to find something like whatever that says. Melanology?
Melanologist.
Melanologist. Copy and paste that.
Yeah. So here's something to note, actually. If you do click on one of these shirts, just to see it in more detailed, be careful when you're coming back up here to search.
Yes.
So if I were to type this in and type shirt at the end, you'll see that it's in clothing, shoes, and jewelry. So you want to click out of that and just click back to all departments, and then do your shirt search from there.
And again, there's 10 here, so this one might be hard to see if these are selling or not. But I would click on Jungle Scout to see if these shirts are selling or not. I mean, from the BSRs of those, it looks like none of them are selling.
So even though there wasn't auto-filled, I kind of skipped over that, so sorry. So even though there's low results, that also shows that there's low sales. So this would not be a place that we would look to put a shirt. Right?
Correct. I think we're in a case of Amazon suppressing a listing, though, because this has reviews.
Well,
let's just touch on it. We're here now. More information for you guys. If you see a shirt that has customer review and you don't see any BSR, this means that Amazon was suppressing this listing, and it either is coming out of being suppressed or going into being suppressed. We've noticed that the BSR is pulled either right before or right after. So if you go up to Kepa a little bit, Kepa doesn't even have any information on it. Normally, Kepa will show a little longer, and then you'll see the green line to indicate that it had a sales rank at one time. This shirt, clearly has sold because it has a review, but Amazon is not currently showing all the data because we are in fourth quarter, and they're doing a little
suppressing.
Yeah.
So usually the BSR would be right here underneath the product description, but since it's not there, it's probably coming out of suppression since you can actually see it from the search. But just a little bit of information while we stumbled upon it.
All right, go back to fruit.
Yep.
And let's see if we can't find one more before we move on to the next.
So back in fruit again, if I scroll to the top.
And we're in the all category.
Yeah, in all, the results are very high. So we're just looking for more keywords to go after in art to get inspiration from. Oh.
Banana dabbing?
Cool. Dab banana. Are we trying that one?
Sure.
Oh, there it is. So autofills.
The old banana dabbing.
The old banana dabbing.
Run Jungle Scout.
Results are 26, so it's a possibility. Looking at DS Quick View, it's not looking so
good.
great. Yeah.
So again, a few sales here.
We'll talk about 10.
Well, I was just saying a few have BSR, but not enough.
Right.
So out of the top 10, there's only 4 that have BSR. That's not enough for us, so that we would keep going. So fruit looks like it's rough. Just type in banana shirt and see what we come up with.
Autofills, that's a good sign.
Still way too many.
Too many results up here in the top left. So we'll scroll down and look for keywords.
The old banana in the pocket. I'm normally looking for shirts that have words on them, though. I guess if you're looking for a banana shirt, the only thing you'd want on the shirt is to be saying banana.
Well, explain that. Why do you want words on the shirt?
Because I'm always looking for keywords so I can type them in. That one that said yellow, we can try yellow shirt.
I must have missed that. Oh, this one?
Yeah. No, just shirt.
Even though.
Oh, because it's like auto-correcting us. That's okay. Get out of here. Go to, let's try another big niche like pizza. Sometimes you go too far down on a niche and you got to go back out.
Pull that ripcord. So, go ahead.
You just say the same thing I have. It's about 50,000 results again. That's way more than 5,000. We do not want to be in here, but we'll scroll down and see what we can come up with. Pizza's my bae. Feed me pizza. Keep going. We can.
Oh.
Fitness pizza shirt.
And it autofills.
So here we go. Under 5,000, right around 1,000. The next thing is to do is to just look Jungle Scout to see if these are selling. And here we go. So again, what we are looking for is autofill to see if Amazon is suggesting that people are actually searching this keyword phrase. The results to be under 5,000. 10 out of the top 10, 8 actually have BSRs, and out of those we want to see at least 1 or 2 under 1 million, because that makes us that makes it seem to us that it's worth testing this landing zone.
Right.
So this one is perfect. All of the top 10 have BSR. There are a few a little over 1 million, but again, we are mostly looking for under 1 million, more than 2 under 1 million. So
take that out of here. This would just be a place that we would
put a shirt.
Test
a shirt. All right, let's kick out of here and go back to the webinar.
Alrighty. So that was just a quick over the shoulder of our keyword strategy. If I pull back this, there we go.
Recapping.
So we're going to recap what we talked about so far. 3 strategies for making money with merch. First one was partnering, which we talked about licensing and selling local. Writing trends, which is a great place for traffic, quick sales, and getting out of low tiers. And organic traffic, which we love because of how reliable it is, and it's very systematic.
And I guess if you go back one slide, these are kind of the 3 thoughts that we have. The long term, the short, and something that we can rely on. So organic traffic is, we're looking more for evergreen stuff so that we can just rely on it day in and day out. Writing trends is a good way to just spike sales. And then partnering is kind of like the long play that we're going after. We want to partner up with people within merch, but then in using merch as the thing that helps us partner with people, we can partner with them doing other things.
Exactly. So this next slide is any questions. If you guys have questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. We'll definitely get back with you. But what we want to talk about next is letting us help you let us help you take your merch business to the next level.
Why don't you address why you called it Wingman?
So WingMan Media was the first company that I made. It was for helping people get graphics because, again, my background is in graphic design, and I just wanted to help anyone who needed graphics, whether you knew exactly what you wanted or had no idea.
Yeah, and not just with shirts, with logos or
Exactly. But just my passion to help people. I knew I had a skill, and there's a lot of people out there that needed good logo work. So I just wanted to come alongside people wherever they were at and help them either understand what a good graphic can do for their business or nail exactly the logo that they've been trying to get. So transitioning that mindset into merch, now that this is something that we've been pursuing for almost all of 2017, we're trying to do the same thing. Regardless of where you're at with your merch business, whether you don't understand anything or you're at the 10,000 tier and you've got a rocking business, we want to come alongside of you and just show you some new ideas that you could be trying out, some actionable steps, and just come alongside you and help you with your merch business. So what we're planning to do is the Wingman Merch 3-month program, and we can talk about this.
Inside this 3-month program, you're going to get 50 vetted keywords per week. The vetted keywords are essentially what you just saw us do. We go a lot deeper than what I just showed you. I'm actually using 5 to 6 other tools to pull additional information, and I have about, I don't even know how many algorithms and equations running now to pick the best keywords.
Yeah, and these are great places to start. Like we said, it's very systematic and reliable. So if you're looking for a place to get inspiration for art, or if you're looking for a way to rank art that you already have, these are great places to do that.
Yes, and then along with the 50 vetted keywords, you're going to get informational webinars that we're going to be doing. I'll let Daniel talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the informational webinars are going to be kind of about the 3 parts of a merch business. We'll talk about art, we'll talk about the keywords again, and we'll talk about listings and how to speed those up, and just things that are happening in the merch world. We want to cover that as informational webinars for you guys.
Yeah, like we were showing that Amazon's suppressing listings. They're doing a freeze right now. Amazon's constantly changing, so we want to make sure that you're up to date on all the information.
Exactly.
And then you get access to merch experts. Not only myself and my brother, but over this last year, we've worked with a lot of people doing merch, and they all have different viewpoints and strategies of going about their merch business. So we want to be able to bring them on and have you guys talk to them, have them do webinars and kind of explain what they're doing, and then just together strategize of the best way to move forward with your business. And then over the last few months, we've actually built up a team of artists. It's actually Nathaniel's team, so I'll let him talk about what he's got in store for that.
Yeah, so just being overwhelmed with the amount of art that I was trying to do for my account and several other people's accounts, I've built up this VA team who all know exactly the type of art that I like, the type of elements I want to use, and have been doing a very good job for me. So I want to open that up to the community that we're going to build and give you guys discounted prices for that, so it's affordable for you guys to get artwork done. So we'll jump into this next slide, which is the community, which is the most important part of this business for me, because like we said, we just enjoy helping people. So much so that I'm not even going to call it a community, but I'm actually going to call it a family. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want anyone to feel like they're alone while they're trying to figure out merch. And I don't want you to feel like you're not motivated. I think working in a group setting definitely helps with the motivation. You can see what other people are doing and just get new ideas and inspiration, whether that's art or partnership or different ways to use keywords. But we just want to make a good, solid group that we can be open and honest with and share a lot of our merch ideas.
Yeah, when you're doing stuff by yourself, it is easy to get overwhelmed and bogged down. And sometimes you just need somebody to go, "Oh, you're so close," or "Did you think about it doing this way?" It's the best that we've found is coming along with other people and actually trying to, even in your own business, just see what other people are doing and maybe bounce ideas off is the quickest way to continue along and to stay motivated in actually doing this thing. Because there, in this business, it does get hard. There are times where sales are tough, especially in the beginning stages. Like just having somebody that's gone ahead of you explaining some things makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and a place to just get those questions answered. There's a lot of merch places online that you can ask those questions, but they can be a little harsh if you're going on Reddit or like some of the bigger groups. Your questions just get lost.
So. Yeah, especially if you're starting, and we kind of know what your starting questions are. How do I tier up? Where do I do this? And there's a lot of basic questions when you're starting. We want to address those and make you feel like, oh, I'm not annoying anybody. I'm actually asking a question that I'm stuck here and I'm starting out. When you go to those bigger groups, like because they hear those questions all the time, they're just kind of pushing those down and nobody's really helping you, or they're a little snarky. So we want to keep this tight. I don't know if we address it in the next slide or not. We want to only have 50 people in this 3-month course so that it doesn't get overwhelming and it doesn't feel like anybody's getting lost in the community, in the conversation.
Yeah, and just those actionable steps as well. In those lower tiers or those higher tiers, you can be either so stuck in your just routine or you can not even have a routine. So giving you guys those actionable steps in a smaller setting where we can all, talk about the successes and the failures that we're having. That's what we're really looking forward to. So if you guys want to know more information, in the description of this video, there'll be a link to the landing page, just talking more about this 3-month program and a place for you to sign up to get more information on it. So we'd appreciate if you guys click over to that and go check that out for us. Anything last to say?
I think that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us for the last, about what, hour?
50 minutes or so.
50 minutes, getting exact. Okay. Thanks for being here. And please, if you have any questions, definitely leave them down below and we will get back to you.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot, guys.